What's going on, everybody? Today I got another quick, easy Toyota install video. We're doing the bed step on my 2019 TRD off-road crew cab, all that jazz. This is the genuine Toyota part number PT390-35100. Got it off Amazon, ended up being about half the price the local dealer wanted, so I'd go that route. Links in the description below, so let's get to it. But first, let's take a look at what's in the box and get acquainted with what we're going to be working with here. First thing out is a pretty simple set of instructions that do importantly provide torque values. Next out is the mounting bracket. It's cast aluminum, Teflon anodized, and feels extremely solid. The mechanical assembly is similarly made. It also feels very tough and gives you the impression that properly installed will last the life of the vehicle. Our mounting hardware packet is out next. When you first get your kit, verify the correct set of bolts and adapter plate is included. The first kit I got included a mismatched hardware set. Apparently, the dealer selling on Amazon opened it up to repackage for shipping and in the process got some parts mixed up. Last out is the bed step itself. It's not all metal like everything else, but doesn't feel flimsy. There is plenty of really tough plastic out there, and this feels like some of it. I mean, Kevlar stops bullets. Before we get going, let's make sure we've got a couple tools handy. In this video, you'll see me use a few others, just out of convenience, but these should get you by. You'll need a 3/16 hex bit and some way of adapting it to a torque wrench. I'm using a 1/4 inch socket to accomplish this. Next, we'll need a 17mm socket along with a 3 to 5 inch extension and universal joint. Truth being told, you might get away without those last two, but they will make life a lot easier. Furthermore, they're pretty cheap and really handy to have around. Finally, we'll also need a torque wrench that's capable of a range of 6 to 66 foot-pounds. You could probably get by with just a ratchet, but when it comes to automobile things, I like to follow the OEM's recommendation. To me, it's a great $25 piece of insurance. It would be pretty disheartening to ruin your expensive bed step because your steel bolt stripped the aluminum threads on the arm assembly. Links to all required and recommended tools are listed in the description. Okay, we're finally ready to start getting everything together. I didn't mention it a minute ago, but you'll also need a vise 3 inches in size or greater. This is used to hold the arm while you bolt on the mounting bracket. You'll also want to make sure you're protecting that soft aluminum from that hard steel. In my case, I just stuck some mounting tape on the back of some cardboard. I think it's kind of crappy on Toyota's part to require this when there's plenty of room in that packaging to ship fully assembled. Even though most people probably have a vise, there are some that don't, and for them, this step will be pretty tough. After the arm is secured, we'll go ahead and bolt on the bracket, making sure to keep the included mounting plate in between. Using our 17mm socket and ratchet, I'll snug down the two bolts. Normally I'd applied some thread lock, but Toyota was nice enough to pre-treat all included hardware. I'll perform the final tightening using my torque wrench set to 33 foot-pounds. This is a click type wrench, so that little snap you'll hear in a second is the tool letting me know it's time to stop tightening. Here's a quick view of what the completed arm assembly looks like. Again, why they couldn't ship it like this, I'll never know. To get everything installed, I'm going to run my truck up on ramps. Totally not necessary and really only makes installation slightly easier, but it does make filming a lot more convenient. So I would say if you've got them, use them. If not, don't worry about it. Next on our to-do list is removing two bolts that we'll both need for installation and that are currently covering up our mounting points. They're located on the rear driver's side of the vehicle directly in front of the bumper. They can be seen here and here. Now, I really don't know how these were torqued at the factory, but I couldn't get them to budge without a little cheater bar. So depending on how much you've been working the lats, you might need something similar. For me, an 18-inch piece of black iron pipe did the trick nicely. After breaking loose, it's business as usual as far as backing out. So now it's time to get everything back together. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to apply a wee dab of thread lock to the bolts just removed. Here is the best, but admittedly not great view of the mounting procedure. I wanted to show you guys this vantage point because you can kind of see why a ratchet and socket alone won't work. You're really going to need an extension, and that universal joint if you like to keep your F-bombs to a minimum. Anyway, with my Franken ratchet good to go, I was able to get the assembly mounted and the 2 holes opened up by the 2 bolts just removed. The final step in this piece of the puzzle is to ensure we've got proper torque values set. These call for 66 foot-pounds. That's actually a decent amount. In order to get the right leverage, I had to lie on my back and pretty much do a one-handed bench press. Truth being told, for this step, it might have been easier if the truck wasn't on the ramps. Last item before calling it a wrap is the glass fiber reinforced nylon step install. We'll need to prep it by dropping in a couple of included T-nuts. There are actually 2 positions this can be mounted in. Toyota recommends the one that results in the step being most recessed, so that's where I started. Now, strictly to make the job a little quicker, I'm running in the socket cap machine screws with my driver and then finishing with the torque wrench set to 6 foot-pounds. This is just me being lazy, so don't think you need one to complete this step or anything. So at this point you're probably done. But for me, after giving the step a little test action, I decided I would prefer the other mounting location. I found that by placing the step in the rightmost position, it made it hard to get a tennis shoe in there, let alone a boot. So I moved it out 1 notch. I like it much better here. Okay, we're done. I think it turned out really nicely. It looks great and works even better. Makes hopping in and out of the bed, especially if your hands are full, a pretty easy task. Assuming you've got the right tools, this is a pretty easy DIY task. Just don't overpay at the dealership. And that will about do her for today. If you found any of this useful, a like, share, or sub is appreciated. If not, feel free to vent down in the comments below or hit that thumbs down button. Okay, take care.